It's the best time of the year. Shades of the season, Q4, have arrived. And there are 4, and they are fantastic. 1 is a returning fan favorite, 3 are brand new, and there is something for everybody. Or if you're like me, these are for you, all of them, but you're gonna love them. So today we're gonna swatch them, we're gonna compare them, we're going to apply them. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sammy George and I teach natural looking makeup to women with uneven skin, whether that's tone or texture, acne, dark under eyes, whatever those things may be. We keep it super simple. Today we'll do a light application so you can see what I'm talking about, and then we will get down to it. If you are a returner, welcome back. So happy you're here. I would love it if you guys would like and subscribe to this video. And as always, thanks so much for being here. Okay, friends, here are 3 of the 4 brand new shades. And this little guy is the 4th. Let me tell you a little story. So I'm an artist, I'm an independent makeup artist with Seint Beauty, and they released the shades of the season to us first so that we can get it and show you guys before they launch. By the way, these bad boys are live. So if you see something you like today, you can grab them. They are limited edition. So anyways, we got our email, like you guys can go get these. And I got on at 2 a.m. because I wanted to be able to film this YouTube video before the shades launch. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up, 2 a.m., I'm gonna place my order. Well, I only ordered 3 of the 4. I don't know why. I think it's because I was asleep and woke up to an alarm, but I do have the returning shade just in this smaller size because 2 years ago, it was available half tin for half price. So I snagged it then. So we have all 4 to show you today. But rest assured, all of yours will be this size right here, full of amazing product. And I have to say, I did swatch them and I have used them all because I was live on Instagram like the moment they arrived. So I will drop my Instagram handle in the description. If you'd like to follow over there, I would love it. I think the method to my madness today is going to be lightest to darkest because some of these shades will absolutely act as a beautiful stain. So once they're on, they're pretty much gonna be on. So let me start with Tiny Dancer, you guys. So this is a satin shade, which means it's gonna have more of a matte, less of a glow finish. It's obviously that beautiful pale pink, and we will swatch it in comparison to some of the other ones that we have. And I will show you how I wear this because at my skin tone, this is great for mixing and matching for ombreing looks, but it'll probably wash me out alone. So I have some thoughts on what we're gonna do with this guy, but that is shade 1. Now, I can't even help myself. You guys, this is Tango. Tango is a gloss. Tango is amazing. And if you are a lover of gloss, so if you like a shiny, dewy finish on the cheeks, if you like a hydrating feeling on the lips, I think not only are you gonna love Tango like right now, but I kind of hope this one ends up in our permanent collection. It's that good. And then my teeny tiny friend, an absolute winter fan favorite. You guys, this is Everred. Everred, if you've been around for a while, has been originally Seint did shades of the month. And this was the December shade of the month. It's described as, and I think this is a perfect description, like that flush that you get in your cheeks or that children get in their cheeks when they're out in the cold, just that like tint of rosiness, or obviously it can be built up to a pretty red lip. It is also a gloss, so it's perfect for topping with things, or you can wear it super sheer for just that flush of color. And then this one I'm so excited about. There is nothing like it in our arsenal. You guys, this is Spellbound. You will see, I've already gotten in there. Spellbound is beautiful. It has a purple undertone to it. It's satin. It makes an absolutely stunning stain. It looks gorgeous on the cheeks and it's totally buildable. I would say Everred and Spellbound are very buildable. So if you look at it and you're like, holy moly, in the tin, it can be worn super sheer or it can be built up. That's why I think these 4 shades are literally amazing for like a full plethora of skin tones. So there is definitely something here for everybody. So before we get to swatching, let's put on our face. I don't know about how you guys feel, but I did my eyes already and I always feel super weird with my eye makeup on if I haven't done my face. I just feel like it stands out so much. So let's do a quick application of 3D foundation. If you guys are new to my channel, I tend to be somebody who doesn't do a lot of the dot method or like the placing the creams on my face with my finger. What I have found is that less is more, and using my brush, I can just quickly get a beautiful application of makeup, and I find it honestly so much easier than putting makeup on the face and blending it in afterwards. This way I can really control the amount. And if you're somebody who is dealing with uneven skin, what I'm doing right now is called color correction. So my makeup is comprised of these 4 tins. That makes up my highlight and contour. That's the beauty of Seint. It's meant to make your face look like your face. It makes your skin look like skin. Our skin has multiple tones in it, and honoring that is what gives you like that skin-like finish, where everything just looks really natural. So what I'm doing first is tapping one little tap at a time with the small end of the blush and bronzer brush. I'm gonna do this over any large like area of redness that I have on the face. So for me, that's in this mask area, and you'll see I'm talking like one little tap, and then I'm going to distribute that wherever I have discoloration. So I have it in this mask area. The chin is really an area of redness for me. And then the inner corner of the eye, I have both a little bit of redness and some darkness. And then my nose and the scar on my nose are almost always the darkest point on my face. So I'm just doing what's called this buffing motion, where I'm doing these small circles, and you will see it doesn't even look like I have any makeup on. And the purpose of this step, so if you've never color corrected before, the purpose of this step is we match the darkest points of our skin first with our color corrector to get really good longevity and to not have to put a ton of any one like product on the face to get coverage. If we match the darkest points first and get some coverage on those areas of deeper saturation, like our under eyes, redness, rosacea, acne scarring, then we can go in with a light layer of our all over foundation, and we can do this so much simpler by using so much less makeup overall. So now I'm gonna take the small end of the detail brush, and I'm just gonna get into those smaller areas, and I'm still using my color corrector because I have this smaller area of darkness under the eye, broken capillaries under the nose, and again, small amount of product, and then just build up as needed. A little bit more on that scar. I'm gonna touch this side area here. Again, my nose is the darkest point of my face. I have this sunspot. And then I'm gonna touch up this acne scarring and just really help neutralize those scars that you see here. For you, you might have a heck of a lot less discoloration on the face, so this can be even faster, but just know this is completely customized to you. So as an artist with Seint, my job is to help you pick out your ideal shades to get the look that you want with your makeup. And then I will build your routine. So not only will I color match you, but I will help you create your makeup routine that matches your goals. Full coverage, medium coverage, light, natural coverage, whatever your preference is. Now that we've color corrected, I'm gonna go into my main shade. So this is the shade that more closely matches like the actual areas of my face that don't have the discoloration. And it's the combination of my main shade and my color corrector that are gonna give me really good longevity throughout the day. And I'm just applying this anywhere that I would apply a traditional foundation, including the areas where I put my color corrector. So you are putting a thin layer of color corrector and then a thin layer of your main shade, and that's what's gonna give you really good coverage, but still keep it looking like skin, because we match those darkest points first, and now we bring in this color to tone down any of that warmth that you might see, give us even better coverage, and keep it matching. You know, for me, I like to match my chest. For you, we can match whatever you like, your neck, your chest. If you like your face to be darker, it's completely up to you. But I'm just going one tap at a time, and now I'm pressing this onto the face. So the previous application, we did these little circle motions. Now that we've put our color corrector down, we don't wanna move it. We put in the work of putting the color corrector on strategically where we had that discoloration. So now we just tap this over the top, and I'm going one tap at a time. and distributing that over a large portion of the face until I get the coverage level that I like. I'm gonna go back to the smaller end of the detail brush and tap on anywhere else that I just wanna build it up a little bit in these smaller areas again. As we build it up, we're getting really good coverage, but we will also remove any excess at the end. So if it ever starts to look heavy or feel like, right now it feels really good, but if you put too much on, which is really normal when you start, the perfector stage at the end will take care of that. There is some magic here. All right, now that we have really good coverage, everything is evened out, feel good about that, let's put that dimension in the face, and that's when we use our contour. So I'm gonna get contour on half the brush, I'm gonna bring it up to the top of my ear, and now I'm just hugging that cheekbone, and I'm only bringing it to the outer corner of the eye, pressing that on, don't wanna move anything underneath, and now I am flicking it up so that it will blend really nicely. I try and avoid sweeping like this, and I know you see a lot of people do that, but really then I kind of lose the control that I got when I was stamping it on half the brush and putting it on the face, and that's what causes it to kind of get a little crazy sometimes. So I'm just going on the top of the cheekbone, and now I'm gonna flick up. And we contour to frame the face. The cool thing about 3D foundation is it emulates real skin, and our skin has natural shadows in this cheekbone area, around the top of the forehead. We'll add some shadowing to that jawline just to help really slim it out, kind of carve it. So anywhere that you put dark on the face, it recedes, it pulls back, which means we're gonna draw attention to the center of the face, and everything's gonna look really light and bright, which is like where we want other people to see. Like we want them to see our eyes. We want them to look at the center of the face when they're looking at us, not look at our face and be like, oh, she has really nice makeup. Like how about, oh, she has really nice eyes, right? So we just carve out the top of that forehead. We've done our cheekbones, so we have slimmed and sculpted that. And now I'm gonna grab a little bit. I'm gonna go from the back of the ear underneath the jawline, pull it down the neck so we don't have any harsh lines. Same thing over here, back of the jawline by the ear, pull it down the neck. And we will keep it simple today. You could even contour your nose to either make it look slimmer or wider, underneath the lips a little bit to pop that out, but we're just gonna keep it super simple so that we can really focus on the lip and cheeks. The last step before we get into the fun part, use a small end of the detail brush, and now I'm gonna brighten. This is like your concealer step. So we're used to putting a light and bright color under the eye, and that is what gives us brightness under there. But here's a little trick for you. If you did not color correct and you put a light color on top of that darkness that's in your under eye area, most likely it's going to show through. Or in order to get really good coverage, you're gonna have to use a ton of it. And then it just feels cakey and tacky. So right now what I'm doing is taking one little tap at a time, going down that nose in the inner corner and just using what's left on my brush to create that light and bright under eye. And then we're gonna remove excess in a minute. But this is, again, that's that game of light and dark that I was just telling you about. This is how we draw attention to the center of the face. This will also give us additional coverage in this under eye area, which is awesome sauce for dark circles. But because we color corrected, it's not gonna emphasize texture. Light and bright colors on the skin, on darkness, and on texture are going to emphasize it, but we took care of the darkness first. I don't have to use a lot of product, and I can keep it looking really natural. And even at this level, I would love for it to look a little more like skin. So that's why I'm gonna show you the perfector stage next. Because to me, now I look like I have more makeup on than I want to, but this is how I build up coverage. Really thin layers of the color where it's needed, and I will map that out for you. I will send you a face map. I will send you a step-by-step application and even a video on how to get started to keep it really simple for you. Okay, that's it. Let's grab our perfector. This is our magic tool, the perfector, for both removing excess and marrying our colors together. So I know sometimes people are nervous to contour, and contour really, really does help keep your face look natural. When we use a liquid foundation or a powder or even one color of cream foundation, makes everything flat because everything is one tone. When we use the multiple colors just where they need to go, one, we use overall less makeup, but it looks like skin because we naturally do have shadowing there. So if you're nervous to contour, rest assured, creams are really blendable. They're buildable, so you can start really, really light-handed and build up your color in your contour or any area for that matter. But then you can use your perfector to both marry our colors together, but to remove excess. And the most important places for me to remove excess is anywhere that I layered and anywhere that I have fine lines, wrinkles, or I'm prone to creasing. So like I'm prone to creasing here. I have pretty distinct lines around like this nasal labial fold area, these marionette lines. So I definitely make sure that I get my perfector in there and remove any excess. This is a beauty blender from Seint that is specifically meant for removing creams versus applying liquids. So I'm always gonna recommend these two brushes and the perfector unless there's kind of a situation where somebody wants a very, very specific level of coverage. You can get any level of coverage with these two brushes and you can't mess it up with the perfector. So let's go to the under eye. This is where I put 3 really thin layers of coverage, my color corrector, my main foundation shade, and then my brightener. So I definitely want to make sure that I get in there. See how you have that excess on there? And that will help with creasing. Will also help keep my makeup looking like skin. So to me, we have a really natural skin-like finish. And for a light coverage application, man, do I have really good coverage on those areas of acne and acne scarring. I could build it up even more from there. But I like to keep it simple and I like to keep my makeup as skin-like and natural looking as possible. So I find with this method, I get good coverage, but I still look like me. Okay, you guys, enough chitty chat. Put some balm on here so we are ready for a lip application. Let's get into it. Let's start swatching. And I am gonna start, like I said, we're gonna go lightest to brightest. So we are gonna start with Tiny Dancer. Okay, here again is Tiny Dancer. And let's go ahead and swatch her for you to see. I am gonna build it up so you can see there's gonna be quite a bit of color on there, just so you can see kind of at full opacity what it would look like. But you can obviously wear this more sheer if you like, but there is Tiny Dancer. So it's a beautiful pale pink. It does feel creamier than some of our other shades around this tone because we have one that's really similar. Let's just swatch it right now because I'm dying to know if Audrey is the same. Oh girl, they are very, very close. Let me show you. Okay. So close, I would say they could be twin sisters. So when on my end, where I can see them like completely in natural light, I would say that Tiny Dancer has a tinge more purple to it. Like not enough to have them both. So if you own Audrey, you're good to go. But this one is just a tiny bit more purple, but super similar. I would say that Tiny Dancer feels a little creamier to me, but that could be because it is newer and they are. This is Tiny Dancer and this one is Audrey. And I think you can see while they look super, super similar, this one has a little bit more purple in it. This one looks a tinge more, like it has a little bit more pink to me. But like I said, you don't need both. So let's compare it to another limited edition shade. This is Cotton Candy, which I mean, it's literally, it is a pale pink, but it's so pale that this one is going to look, oh yeah, very, very white. This has been my favorite mixing and matching shade. So this is Cotton Candy. So using this as a base on the eye is definitely one use for it. Put your vanilla dust setting powder over it and it'll really help your colors show true to color. But I've also used this anytime you have too much warmth in a lip and cheek and you want to tone it down, you pick a shade like Cotton Candy. That would be another lovely, lovely use for Tiny Dancer. So if you don't have like a shade switcher color, then Tiny Dancer would be really great for that. We also have, okay, this one's probably not as close as I thought it was gonna be. This is Taffy. And, oh yeah, Taffy compared to the rest of these, definitely more peach. That was also a limited edition. It might still be on the website, but yeah, definitely more pink, and Cooler, definitely more peach and warmer. Let's see what it looks like next to Petal. Petal is a permanent collection gloss. So all the ones I've swatched so far are, they are satins. Where can I put this? All right, we'll put it down here. But you will see that this is a gloss. And this is Petal. So Petal is definitely similar to Tiny Dancer, but in the gloss formulation. So we've got Tiny Dancer, Audrey, Cotton Candy, Taffy, and Petal. I will show you how I'm gonna use Tiny Dancer in a little bit because we're gonna mix with Tiny Dancer, but it's time, you guys, for Tango. And I'm so excited to show you this shade. It is a gloss. You see that glossy sheen on it. My first instinct was that it was somewhere near a glossy version of like Madrid or maybe Tropicana, but it is way more pigmented than I had expected it to be. It is so darn gorgeous, and it looks more pink than I expected it to, so it might be a little bit different than Madrid and Tropicana, and I can tell you, I don't think we have anything like this one. So let's put some on the cheeks. Where is my blush and bronzer brush? Okay, here we go. So with anything pigmented, well, anything in general, it's always easier to build up than it is to take off, but especially if something is pigmented, you can always just tap it on your wrist to make sure that you don't get a lot on when you're starting. And that way you can just build it up. Maybe we got a little too much. You guys, Tango is so good. I'm not even gonna pretend I did not wear it all weekend because I absolutely did. And I just can't help myself. I think it is a gorgeous shade for any time of the year. It's subtle, but youthful without looking young. Like, does that make sense? I don't know. I just think she's gorgeous. Let's put a little bit on the lips. Remember, it's buildable. You can absolutely wear this without a lip liner or create more of a lip look with one. You guys. Okay, Tango. Let's do some comparisons here, but what do we think? So like I said, my first instinct was that it was gonna be similar to Madrid, but you can already see, well, I shouldn't say that because they don't always look like they're gonna look in the tin, but I can tell that it's gonna be a little bit different than I thought. And it sure is. Okay, here's Madrid. Madrid has more of that coral undertone. But I imagine Madrid, it's a satin, with this over top is gonna be super pretty. So there we have Madrid. All right, I said I thought Tropicana, but again, since I have swatched Tango, this is Tropicana. I think I'm wrong, and I am. So here is Tropicana. Let's get a good swatch here for you. And Tropicana is definitely in the coral family. Sheared out a little bit. So I did pick up Venice. Venice was a limited edition shade, but if you have it, just so you know, Venice is definitely more of that bright pop of color. Again, more coral and orange than Tango. But it did make me wonder about La Cienega, which if you've been here, you know my love of La Cienega. It is a gloss. It is pink, but it has a golden hue to it. Can you see that in the tin? So I'm wondering if it's gonna be similar to this without the gold in it. And I would say similar, but not the same. So let me build this up a little bit for you. So there we have La Cienega. So they're definitely similar when you swatch it heavier, but this is more, gosh, this looks like a little more orange This one looks a little more pink. This has the golden hues in it. I'm not sure if you can see, where this one is just gonna give you that glossy finish. But we have Tango, Madrid, Tropicana, Venice, and La Cienega. All right, our next shade is Ever Red. And I'm hesitant to put Ever Red on the cheeks because I don't think I will be able to get it off and show you Spellbound really well. And I have a lot of videos with Ever Red. I'll drop some of them in the description box below so you can see it, but I think we can try it on the lips. So let me take this off and then we will do both a sheer and a heavier application of Ever Red. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit of my main foundation shade on there to tone down anything that's left from Tango. And now I'm gonna grab Ever Red and let's use the multitasker brush. So I'm just gonna use the paddle end. As you can see, I've been using it. And let's do a sheer pop of color and then we'll build it up. So you see how it can give you just that like winter, cold weather, like kissed lip. Same thing on the cheeks. Or you could definitely add a lip liner and make this more intense. And if you love a bold red lip, Saffron, Sangria, those are both great matte shades. And then you can put this over top since it's a gloss. Let me show you how beautiful it is. So this is Ever Red. And this over top will give you like a hydrated, beautiful, like Christmas or Valentine's Day red lip, or an everyday red if you're an everyday lover of the red lip. But let's build it up a little bit. See, it's so beautiful. So let's do some comparison swatches. Okay, we don't have a ton of bold colors like this in a gloss, but I thought, let's see what it looks like next to Royal. Royal is a gloss, absolute fall favorite, and it is very sheer or can be built up as well, but it is more of that like wine, like true like Merlot color, where obviously Ever Red has a lot more of a pop. Speaking of pop, let's look at our other red gloss, which is called Pop. And let's see what that one looks like. Okay, so Pop is definitely a little more orange. And remember, all of these can be worn super sheer. I'm just making sure the swatch is dark enough for you to see, but Ever Red is definitely has more purple in it, where Pop has more orange in it. So it's gonna be a little bit cooler. This one will be a little bit warmer. This one having a little bit brown, it's gonna be a little bit more neutral. And those are really our only shades that are glosses. So let me show you Sangria. Sangria is one of the shades that makes a wonderful lip stain. And you'll see just by how pigmented it is. It's a matte shade, so you can wear it sheer for a stain, or this underneath this. So this will stain your lips so that when you eat and drink and whatever, it's gonna stay on. And then this over top will be super hydrating and kind of give you that shine. And let's also look at Saffron. So Saffron was the other matte that I was talking about that I think will make a great red lip for the base of this if you want a bolder lip. And that one's gonna be Saffron. So this one has a little bit more, I'd say purple. And then you have Saffron, and just for the sake, I'll show you Scarlet. Saffron's more your true red, where Scarlet is gonna be more of your undertone of orange in your red. So there we go. We have Ever Red, Royal, Pop, Sangria, Saffron, and Scarlet. I couldn't help myself. I put a little bit of Ever Red over Tango just because I really wanted to show you. But I just love it. I think Everred is just such a perfect winter flush of color. But I also did it because I want to show you how you can use Tiny Dancer. So I'm going to grab a little bit of Tiny Dancer. And remember, Tiny Dancer is cool. Since Everred has that warmer touch to it, if you wanted to create a little bit of an ombre look, you could pop this right here on the cheek and just let that kind of tone down the redness. So here we have Everred, here we have Everred with Tiny Dancer, and now it kind of creates that ombre where this makes it look a little bit more pink because it's cooler. So like we're adding white to red, and now it kind of pulls into that ombre effect where you just have this flush of pink here and it pulls up into that red. And let's try it in the middle of our lips too and see if we can create like a little pout with Tiny Dancer. Grabbed a clean multitasker brush and I'm just gonna put a little bit on here and pop this into the middle of the lip. And now you'll see, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. You guys. Feather out that line. Tell me that that doesn't look so pretty. Creating a little bit of that like pop of like a flush of pink right here in the middle. And the ombre look. Well, here, now that you've seen how gorgeous this looks, let's put it all over. I think that is stunning. Okay, what do you guys think? And last but certainly not least, the one that I was the most excited about when I saw it come out, this is Spellbound. Now, remember, highly pigmented satin shade, which means it is gonna be a little bit drier. It is gonna be more of that ability to stain, but I wanna show you how lightly you can wear it if you just want a pop of color, or we can totally build this one up. But it is so pretty, like so different than anything else that we have. If you wanted to create a bolder lip, you could definitely do that. And then I would put something glossy over top. Ooh, maybe like Royal or Tango. What if we put Tango over top? That's what we're gonna try. Spellbound reminds me of Love Spell, which is a like cult Seint favorite. It's definitely a limited edition one that comes back usually once a year. It is Kin eyeshadow with, or Gilded. Oh, which one is it? Gilded or Kin with Desert Sunset. But even that, there's nothing like it. It reminds me a lot of Revival eyeshadow. But that is Love Spell. We do have another gloss, and this one scares everybody, but it's so perfect. This is Black Cherry. You guys, my fingers, my arms are gonna be so stained. Okay, so let's see. This is Black Cherry. This is one of the first shades I ever bought. I have multiple tins of it because look at this. Okay, so similar, this would look really pretty together too. So Spellbound, Love Spell, Black Cherry. Those are pretty. All right, let's see, what else do we have here? So this is a former limited edition. This one is a satin. And I'm curious how close it's gonna look to this one, because when this one came, I was so happy with it and wanted it to be a fall shade so badly. This is Renaissance. Oh gosh, they're way different than I expected. Oh. So Renaissance is definitely more of that brick undertone. So it's more red, more warm. This is more purple, so it's more cool. But it's not like a cool shade. It's not super purple. This is like a little more neutral than I expected. And I cannot believe how much more red Renaissance looks next to that. All right, let's look at, just because this is a general, like in the mauve family, I figured we should take a peek at Plum. But I know they're gonna be very different. So this is Plum. For those of you that are curious about how Plum compares definitely cooler. I mean, if you could just buy my arm for the fall, throw some sandstone in there, you'd just be set. Okay, so we have Spellbound, Love Spell, Black Cherry, Renaissance, which is limited edition, and then Plum. Okay, again, anything at this depth of color, I'm gonna get some on the brush there, but I'm gonna definitely tap this, okay, very light on the arm. Comes off very sheer, I mean, so this should be much easier to apply and build. Oh, that is so pretty. So I'm wearing it with Cedar Contour, and last time I wore it with Astoria. Astoria has a little bit more of a cool undertone to it. I think I love it next to Cedar even more. Okay, so that can be totally built up if you want something stronger than that, but see really how sheer these can be worn? So let's do just a little bit on the lips, and then we're gonna build it up. So pretty. And like I said, I would put a gloss over top because I don't like a matte formulation, but this will give you a nice stain. So even after you eat and drink, you're gonna get a good stain from this for sure. Okay, so we have contoured with indigo with something this dark. If I'm gonna contour my lips, I do want my contour to be at least like close, if not a little bit deeper than the depth. So I went with indigo, which is deep, but it also has a little bit of warmth in it. Okay, I absolutely love a fall lip. Well, in winter for that matter, that has some depth of color. Uh-oh, I think the fam's getting home. Better wrap this up before it gets crazy. Okay, what do you guys think? So this is Spellbound with indigo contour, Spellbound on the cheeks, and then see what it looks like with that warmth of Tango and the gloss. Oh, so good. So good. It just feels so much more hydrating. I think I found maybe my favorite mix. Though I will say, Ever Red and Tiny Dancer really surprised me. Okay, you guys, that's it. Those are the new 4 shades of the season. If you want to grab them before they're gone, which I think is December 17th or while supplies last, we did have 2 sell out last season. So if there's something that you're loving, always recommend get it sooner than later. I will put the link to find them on the website in the description box below. And that is it. If there's any other shades that you want to see compared, feel free to put it in the comments and I will get those to you guys. So I just want to say once again, I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week.